Greetings, friends. Jason here for AxodysFC. It is a very hot Sunday evening. Sun's in the process of setting. It's pretty hazy, and so it's looking quite red, actually, over there beyond the trees. But at least it's not 99 pushing 100 anymore, but it's still quite warm. Anyway, the big news, which actually I first heard about yesterday afternoon, late afternoon, but figured I'd save it for today as more news developed. But essentially, the big Spurs related news is Pierre-Emile Højbjerg is set to go to Marseille in Ligue 1. Basically, kind of came out of the blue. He'd never been linked to them or anything like that. So impressive in a way that this was kept under wraps until it was ready to happen, pretty much. And sounds like it's basically a 20 million euros, 17 point whatever pounds, a million pounds deal in the end, depending on how it works. It is going to be structured as a loan, but with an obligation to buy. And so, yeah, it amounts to a sale or whatever, ultimately. But yeah, interesting in that Marseille isn't in Europe this year. And, of course, Højbjerg had a great goal against them in Champions League a little over a year ago. But yeah, anyway, sounds like presumably De Zerbi, who's their new manager, sold him on the project, and they just signed Mason Greenwood from United. So yeah, definitely they're doing interesting things, and with De Zerbi as their manager, I'd expect them to be pushing to get back into Europe in the next season or whatever. But yeah, so definitely good news for Spurs on the getting players out that are ready to move on. And that's been the case for about a year. We knew Højbjerg probably was not a great fit for Ange's system. That proved to be the case over the season. He was definitely effective in that closer kind of role, and he played in he played in 30-some games and was always available, certainly. But yeah, the time was right, and yeah, I appreciate what he did for Spurs. But I think he deserves regular playing time, certainly, and I hope he'll get it there at Marseille. So, yeah, otherwise, we're still waiting to hear what the ins and outs will be. Spurs leave on their Asia preseason trip tomorrow, I believe. And, yeah, it sounds like... well, it'll be interesting to see for sure, but presumably Dragushin will return for that. Hopefully Vicario as well. Definitely some question on Mickey van der Ven, and of course I wouldn't expect Romero. Van der Ven, played in the semifinals, so yeah, understandable if he's taking a little additional time. But yeah, so they'll be in Tokyo first for 5 days, Alistair Gold was saying, and then move on from there, eventually getting into South Korea again. Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see how the next couple weeks go for them, and what's happening on the transfer scene. Yeah, it's unclear to me if the Jacob Ramsey thing is for real or not. nothing further has come out of the Lo Celso rumors and that kind of thing. And Oliver Skip, there's no way we're moving him unless we bring in, another homegrown midfielder, presumably, to replace him, or at least another homegrown player. So, definitely a lot of things up in the air. We're making progress, but, just got to wait. And clearly, it seems like our transfer department has a pretty good, has done a pretty good job of secrecy, and that's great as far as I'm concerned. Hopefully, we'll get some big moves. Ivan Toney's still out there as a Apparecci, as he is still out there, but they're going to be the big expenses, and so far we're doing pretty exciting things with our young prospects. So very interesting. There's supposed to be a couple more moves before the window closes. Looking forward to finding out more. And I think that's enough for today. So as always, thanks for tuning in. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy these. And remember, to dare is to do.